I'm uh, I'm looking forward to the time when they award me an honorary degree from Oxford or Cambridge in recognition of my work in literature and poetry. Why is that, you ask? Well, I'll tell you why. When honorary degrees are awarded at Oxford or Cambridge, then citations are composed in Latin, and they sometimes require ingenious invention or circumlocution because Latin does not always have a direct word for things, for things and for concepts in today's world. And the Greeks would have had a word for them, as the saying goes, the old saying, but not necessarily the Romans. So I don't know, for example, if the Romans had a word for limerick. So in my citation, they may have to say something like Versus de provincia monasterii in Hibernia, which is a verse from the province of Munster in Ireland. Now, somebody who had this job of producing and delivering citations at Oxford in the years from 1910 to 1920 was Professor A.D. Godley, Alfred Godley, who over that period was the public orator. And I expect he was quite good at the task of producing citations, because he was also known as a composer of humorous verse. And sometimes he would indulge in so-called macaronic verse, using two languages. And a familiar example of this form is Michelle, written by Paul McCartney and John Lennon, where the lyrics are part English and part French. Now, in 1914 at Oxford, they introduced the motor-driven omnibus, or the motor bus, and Professor Godley realized that both those words have the form of certain classes of Latin nouns, namely the third declension and the second declension, respectively. And he decided to treat them thus in a poem. If you are familiar with Oxford, you will spot it in the poem references to the prominent thoroughfares of Cornmarket Street and High Street. And the Cornmarket Street runs south from St Mary Magdalene Church to Carfax Tower, or close to Carfax Tower, and there you turn left and that takes you into High Street, which runs east to Magdalene Bridge over the Cherwell. So that's Magdalene at both ends of these two streets. And also that's Magdalene without the E, because you are in Oxford. And if you were in Cambridge, it would have the E on the end of Magdalene. I don't know why. Actually, Cornmarket Street now is semi-pedestrianised, and it's a zero-emission zone. So maybe you could not now go along there in the motor bus to which the poem refers, or at least if you did, you would have to pay. I think that's what happens. But in 1914, this appeared not to be the case, as you will see. And the poem goes like this. What is this that roareth thus? Can it be a motor bus? Hang on. What is this that roareth thus? Can it be a motor bus? Yes, the smell and hideous hum indicat motorem bum. Implet in the corn and high, terror me motoris bi. Bo motori clamitabo, ne motore caedar abo. Dative be, or ablative, so thou only let us live. Whither shall thy victims flee? Spare us, motor be. Thus I sang, and still anigh came in hordes motores by. Et complebat omne forum copia motorum borum. How shall wretches live like us, cincti bis motoribus? Domine defende nos contra hos motores bos. The end.